try this. Walk across a room. Easy, right? You've done it your whole life. Now walk across that same room while 5 people watch you. Suddenly you're thinking, how do arms work? Do I always swing them like this? Am I walking weird? You are walking weird now. Congratulations, your brain just betrayed you. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why it does that. And it's not just walking. Picture this. You're parallel parking. Nobody around. You slide in first try, perfect angle, like you were born to do it. Now same street, same car, same you. But this time, there's a guy on the sidewalk, just standing there, watching. And suddenly, you're bumping the curb, cutting the wheel the wrong way, sweating like you're defusing a bomb. 3 attempts later, you drive off and park 2 blocks away where nobody can see you. We've all been there. Typing falls apart when someone reads over your shoulder. You pour water weird when someone's looking. Your signature stops looking like your signature the moment a cashier watches you write it. So what's actually going on here? Why does your brain, which is genuinely good at this stuff, completely fall apart the second it gets an audience? Turns out, scientists have been poking at this exact question for over 100 years, and the answer is way weirder than, you're just nervous. Because here's the twist. Being watched doesn't always make you worse. Sometimes it makes you better. Same audience, same you, totally opposite result. And once you understand when it flips, you can actually use it. But first, you need to know what's happening under the hood. So here's the deal. When someone watches you, your brain treats it as a big deal, like biologically big. Eyes on you meant something for your ancestors. Being watched could mean danger, or it could mean you're standing in the group it was on the line. So your body does what it always does when the stakes feel high. It hits the alert button. Heart rate up, muscles tense, attention cranked to 11. Basically, your brain goes, okay, something important is happening. Everyone look alive. That state is called arousal. And no, not that kind. Scientists just mean your body being fired up and ready. And here's the thing about being fired up. It's fuel. It has to go somewhere. Now here's where it gets interesting. Where that fuel goes depends on one thing. How good you already are at what you're doing. If the task is easy for you, something you've done 1,000 times, that extra energy makes you sharper, faster, better. This is why athletes break records in packed stadiums and not in empty practice gyms. The crowd literally boosts them. But if the task is hard for you, or new, or shaky, that same energy overloads the system. Your brain's ability to focus gets flooded and your performance falls off a cliff. Psychologists call this social facilitation, and the easy gets better, hard gets worse pattern has been shown over and over. Simple tasks improve with an audience. Difficult tasks tank. Same audience, opposite effects. And believe it or not, this isn't even just a human thing. Way back in the late 1800s, a researcher noticed cyclists rode faster when racing against other people than when racing alone against a clock. And since then, versions of this audience effect have shown up all over the animal kingdom. Even cockroaches, in one famous set of experiments, ran a simple maze faster with other cockroaches watching, but did worse when the maze got tricky. Cockroaches. Stage fright is apparently older than we are. Okay, but hold on, because this is where it flips. Because that explains easy versus hard tasks. But parallel parking isn't hard for you. Walking isn't hard for you. Typing isn't hard for you. You're good at those. So why do you still fall apart? This is the part nobody tells you. When you're skilled at something, your brain runs it on autopilot. Walking, typing, driving, you don't think about the individual steps anymore. The skill got compressed into one smooth automatic program that runs in the background. That's literally what being good at something means, not thinking about it. But the moment someone watches you, your brain panics a little and goes, whoa, high stakes. We can't just trust autopilot with this. Let's supervise. Let's check every step manually. And that is the worst possible move, because now you're consciously monitoring a process that was never meant to be watched. You start thinking about how your fingers hit the keys, which muscles move when you walk, how much to turn the wheel. You've basically dragged the intern, your slow, clunky conscious mind, into a job the expert was already doing perfectly. Researchers call this choking under pressure, and one of the leading explanations is exactly this. Pressure makes skilled people pay attention to the mechanics of what they're doing, and that attention breaks the automatic skill. You're not failing because you forgot how. You're failing because you're trying too hard to remember how. Want to feel it right now? Think about how you breathe. Which comes first, in or out? How long is each one? Yeah. Now you're breathing manually. You're welcome. That's what an audience does to your walking. And that brings us to the cruelest part of the whole thing. The better you are at something, the more automatic it is, which means conscious monitoring wrecks it even harder. That's why experts can choke worse than beginners. The beginner is still thinking through the steps anyway, so watching themselves doesn't change much. The expert just had a beautiful automatic program smashed by their own attention. But it gets weirder, because here's the funny part. Half the time, nobody's even really watching you. Your brain massively overestimates how much people notice you. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. We all walk around feeling like there's a camera crew on us, while everyone else is too busy starring in their own movie to care about ours. That guy on the sidewalk while you parked, he was probably thinking about lunch, but your brain cast him as a judge, sounded the alarm, dragged autopilot into a performance review, and boom, curb. So your brain isn't just reacting to audiences, it's reacting to imaginary audiences it invented. You're choking in front of a crowd that doesn't exist. Okay, so what does that mean for you? Can you actually fix this? Honestly, yeah, kinda. A few things genuinely help. First, stop supervising. When you feel yourself going manual, zoom your attention out. Don't think about your fingers. Think about the sentence you're typing. Don't think about your legs. Think about where you're going. Focus on the outcome, not the mechanics. Skilled movement works best when you aim it at a target and get out of its way. Second, practice with eyes on you. If you only ever practice alone, an audience will always feel like an emergency. Let people watch you do stuff. Small stakes, low pressure. Your brain slowly learns that eyes aren't a threat, and the alarm gets quieter. Third, and this one's sneaky, rename the feeling. That racing heart before you perform, your brain can read it as fear or as excitement. They feel almost identical in your body. Telling yourself, I'm excited instead of I'm terrified, nudges that energy toward the helpful side. Sounds too simple, but it genuinely shifts things. And fourth, just remember the spotlight effect. Nobody is watching you as closely as you think. Seriously, they're all worried about how they look. The judge in the room is mostly in your head, so let's break it down one last time. Someone watches you. Your brain fires up like it's a big moment. If the thing is easy, that energy makes you better. If it's hard, it drowns you. And if it's something you're great at, your brain makes the classic mistake. It stops trusting autopilot, starts micromanaging, and breaks its own skill. Add the fact that the audience is half imaginary, and you get the full picture. You're not clumsy. You're not a fraud. You're just a really well-trained brain, supervising itself into disaster. So next time it happens, you'll know exactly why. The moment you fumble your keys because someone glanced at you, that's not you failing. That's your brain caring a little too loudly. That's it for this one. If your brain did something weird while watching this, leave a like. It helps more than you'd think. Subscribe if you want to keep figuring out why your brain does the weird stuff it does. I'm Arvion. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.